I'd to get your thoughts on this one once we get the opening point out of the way. Dominique Schaefer serving to Kate Fahey, team that has not lost this weekend. Patient point to start. Unit welcome. And what's the player's perspective if you're, say, Dominique Schaefer or Helena Spiridis in this one, matching up against the great Anna Bright and Kate Fahey, who are unbeaten this weekend?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's been great being here this week. And, well, we both know that Dominique Schaefer and Helena Spiridis are great singles players. So their drive is going to be one of the best shots in this game, rather than, you know, dropping and coming up into the kitchen line. So if we see a little bit of drive and crash from them, I think we're going to see a few points there and put in trouble into Anna Bright and Kate Fahey. But they are a solid women's doubles team. It's going to be hard to see them lose, honestly. They are really solid on both sides, both players. And we just saw right there that speed up from Anna Bright through the middle. She's pretty good at this sport.
Pretty good.
You think?
Yeah, she is. She came onto the scene a couple of years ago and said, I want to be the best. And there she is, competing with the best. High level of compete as well. Want work at the kitchen from Fahey and Bright, the instigators on offense. What'd you see?
That pressure that they both have put in is making it tough for the injured hustlers to bring the ball down. And just that power that they have, and that speed up from Kate Fahey going behind Helena Spiridis. That was money.
Yeah, Kate Fahey's been money all weekend. You blink and this thing is 5-0 already in favor of the St. Louis Shock, looking to go undefeated as a team. They've only lost 4 games through 2 events. That's dominant.
They have a solid team through and through, girls and guys. Some of the best, not just players, but also like the chemistry that they have. That's what brings the teams to the next level here at MLP.
He's in the appropriate spot on the bench, and we continue play. If they're not in the corner, they cannot be standing, is the rule there. So Howard Hepworth keeping the players in check. Yeah, Bright loading up at 5:02. And Kate Fahey buries it on Helena Spiridis, and just like that.
And no, definitely, like, this is a really high-level team. They understand the game, they communicate so good.
Nice pull from Anna Bright, splits the difference through the middle. What's the most frustrating part of that if you're Dominique Schaefer shaking her head after that pull from Anna Bright?
Point. That's a nice job there by Kate Fahey. And yeah, just what you're saying about Anna, like if you dink to her, you know that at some point she's gonna pull the trigger, and things that you just don't know where she's gonna hit it. So that puts in trouble every team that they play against. Just always she has the game ahead, you know, the shot that she hits, she always sees 3 balls ahead of what's gonna happen next.
Timeout, New York, 9:02.
New York looking to stop the bleeding. They call a timeout. They are coming away with a couple of wins in Columbus. And nice, that's a great shot from Helena Spiridis.
That shot missile, we've seen her doing that this past week in that backhand flick. So effective.
Drive is high though.
Second serve.
Dominique Schaefer, this is the follow-up chance. 0-9-2 now for the Hustlers. Brand new roster after dropping all 4 of the players they drafted in 2024. Opposite story for St. Louis. St. Louis kept 3 of their 4 players. The only one unprotected in the roster was Kate Fahey. They then adopted the strategy to go out and get her #1 in the free agency draft to keep 2024's team intact, team that made it to the semis last year. Heavy pull, there you mentioned it. Nana Bright can attack from just about anywhere.
So this is what happened before. She went through the middle, and Helena was not there. She was covered in the back. And this time she's covered in the middle, and Anna Bright just sees her and goes opposite way. Very smart from AB.
Nice counter attack from Kate Fahey, and game point takes it in a pickle performance. The St. Louis Shock selected 15th in this year's free agency draft. Trying to defend Big H early, who goes out with the angle on the backhand. It's a thing of beauty when Big H attacks the way that he does on the backhand.
Point.
Eats it. Big H playing big early in men's doubles. Donald Young, of course, a proven pro tennis athlete. Looking to make a name for himself in pro pickleball still.
1-0-2.
Out wide, ATP defended by Zane Ford. Styling in his chunky glasses, as he usually is.
0-1-1.
Ford, originally from Pittsburgh, not too far of a drive from Columbus, Ohio. Currently resides in South Florida.
0-1-2. Side out.
It's like maybe something with his stomach. He was kind of taking a breather, seemed a little off there.
Yeah, Zane is a player known by his
2-0-1.
game, and he's on the rise here. He really wants to be great.
Second serve. 2-0-2.
Love his fearless demeanor. Doesn't care who's in front of him, doesn't care what people think of him. Plays with the 6-0 paddle.
Point.
That was wide for Ford on the dink pattern.
That's what we were mentioning earlier, that once they get into the dinking and slow
3-0-2.
game, that's when the Shock has the advantage. New York Classic doesn't have that game developed yet.
That's the key. I mean, obviously drilling, but dinking is one of those things, especially on TV, it translates as, oh, this is so easy. I can do this. Well, after this point, what is the most difficult thing about dinking in today's pro game? Zane Ford makes Gabe Tardio pay. Back to the dinking conversation.
In getting to that, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Adam Stone. He has a 2-1-1, 1 versus 2 dinking exercise that it doesn't only teach you what dink you need to hit, but where you need to be on the court. Some people tend to dink and just stay where they are, and they leave the ball open. So more than just the type of shot that you think, either slice or topspin, is also where you need to be.
Side out.
Precision, and based on the shot that you hit, based on the dink, just know if you know that the speed up is going to come or it's going to be a dink pad, so you can change the paddle where you are supposed to hit that next shot.
Is that something you're learning now with the SoCal Hard Eights, or a past observation?
Keeping the shout out to Adam Stone, I'm going to say that is a SoCal thing.
Okay. Adam Stone, a friend of ours in the booth as well.
Referee timeout. You have a medical request for a timeout.
Otherwise, this one could end in a hurry. Pretty good out of the gate. Pretty good for feeling nauseous.
Great hands there by 4 players. It's probably one of the best shots for the 4 of them.
(5-4-2) the score now for St. Louis, the team in the baby blues, giving Donald Young the blues with that shot. New York Hustlers in some trouble here against the St. Louis Shock. Any teams have been in their positions this season. 1-6-1, Zane Ford, young and up and comer, especially in men's singles, loading up. Makes the right read, takes it out of the air, maybe forces it a bit there on the dink from Hayden Patriquin. Second serve now for the Hustlers. Donald Young crashing to get to the kitchen. The lefty will now have to unwind the stack. Tardio back to serve for the Shock. Through the middle. And Patriquin is there with a slapper of a forehand.
That's just not the right shot selection. He's off the court, speeding up through the middle. Both Gabe and Hayden are ready for that ball. And that just catches Donald Young off balance. He's not able to cover that shot, you know. And same thing happened here. When they get to the kitchen, they just tend to speed up at a certain ball that is just not there.
Big shot for Big H. Make it 9-1 St. Louis. Donald Young was trying to call a timeout, and he was just informed you don't have any. So he scampered back to the line. Beautiful play from Hayden Patriquin. He looks so casual with it, too. You know it's coming, and then you just don't know where and at what tempo. Hold a little bit off of it. Big rip at game points for Gabe Tardio. St. Louis jumps ahead 2 games to none, so that means we've arrived at the mixed doubles portion. Choose the matchups. So this is who they chose to put out against the order that St. Louis set. Last night at 8 p.m., St. Louis had to submit their lineups for this match, so they chose to put Gabe Tardio and Kate Fahey out.
Super intense match happening on grandstand between the Orlando Squeeze and
Chicago.
Chicago Slice. Now it's James Ignatovich and Vivian David against Dylan Fraser and Samantha Parker. If the Squeeze gets that one, it's regular win. And if Slice gets it, it goes to a dream breaker.
You can catch all the action on the Pickleball TV app.
Second serve.
Gabe Tardio and Kate Fahey. The first event, they decided to tweak the lineup a little bit, put Hayden with Kate. That didn't go so well, just to see what their options were. Since putting these two back together, they haven't lost. Bunker off the tape. Spiridis will take the serve back.
0-2-1.
Trying to hit the scoreboard.
Second serve. 0-2-2. Side out.
Couple of big swings for Spiridis. That's an adjustment, as you know well, from tennis to pro pickleball. Trying to alleviate that. How are you able to do that so effortlessly, it seems, after this point?
Honestly, drilling is one of the main things. You know, when you drill with players that are better than you start seeing a lot of things. And once you are able to put them in practice, you realize that when you are in transition zone and the ball is low, yeah, in tennis you might swing at that, but here in pickleball you just need to bring that ball soft to the other side and find your way up to the kitchen.
Is there a certain range that you work with as far as swing goes, where if you can't see your paddle in front of you, then you're swinging too big, or any rules of thumb that somebody told you after this? Oh, wow, that would have been a wicked ATP defense from Donald Young. Instead, it counts the other way.
5-0-2.
I mean, as far as swing goes, tennis players like Donald, he even has a big swing.
Nice.
Point, timeout, change in, 6-0-2 St. Louis.
In Orlando, but so far the swing is now this, 244 points. On the side of St. Louis, 109 the other way. Gabe Tardio scooches up to the kitchen, throws it down. This is a bloodbath.
7-0-2.
Put it lightly. New York Hustlers probably didn't feel super confident heading into this matchup, but
point.
St. Louis is definitely proving why that notion would be. Over on Grandstand, we have a dream breaker going on between the Orlando Squeeze and the Chicago Slice.
Point.
Got that match previewed for you ahead of this match. Maybe we'll take a peek over there when things get tight.
9-0-2. Point.
A little banter between Gabe Tardio and Donald Young. Game point, pickle point, match point for the St. Louis Shock to clean up 6-0 on the weekend.
Side out.
Started their weekend with a sweep over Atlanta, beat Miami in regulation. Then it was Columbus, the home team, swept Orlando, a team that's atop the standings, swept Phoenix.
Second serve.
Now looking to do the same against New York. They claimed the match, but will still play for 4 games either way.
Side out. 10-0-1. Point, game 11.
Just deep for Spiridis. Fahey and Tardio take the match for St. Louis. A perfect outing performance
1-0-2
against New York. Near perfect, I should say. They didn't get every game as a pickle, which I'm sure they'd be disappointed by. It was...
It's a low standard for Anna right there, you know. She knows she can do the 11-0.
Yeah, and that becomes her new goal when you start wrecking people the way that St. Louis is. Played by Anna Bright. The crowd is dazzled.
Side out. Zero, 2-1.
Only 1 point scored by the Hustlers so far. Donald Young and Zane Ford took one off. Hayden Patriquin and Gabe Tardio. The rest have been pickle performances.
1-2-1.
Well played by Zane Ford. You see the upside in his talent.
1-2-2. Point.
These courts, Michelle, they tell you the level of play from the St. Louis Shock. The team that they just play against, those players, they do okay, good results in the PBA Tour.
Right.
But whenever it comes to this one game and MLP format, like the shock is just at another level.
Side out.
Zane Ford is still wincing as he walks back to the baseline. He did take a medical timeout earlier. Felt nauseous, felt like he was going to pass out. But he is okay, still battling through.
Second serve. Two.
He served from Zane Ford. And who would have predicted that these two, Anna Bright and Hayden Patriquin, would surrender the most points in the match to the Hustlers. Hayden Patriquin was wincing away at that one. Big drive from Zane Ford goes into the net. Side out, St. Louis. Back to work. Anna Bright, the captain of this team.
Second serve.
Bright was on it. Mistimed it, though.
2-3-2.
Heavy drive down the line will do it for Hayden Patriquin on Dominique Schaefer. Question is not about St. Louis winning in the regular season, is can they sustain this level of play into the playoffs, assuming they are definitely a lock at the top of the standings. That was the question that did not get answered. Well, I guess it did in the way that they did not like, I suppose, in 2024. They got beat by the Flash, who many deemed to be the best team this year. And a Bright with a simple counter touch on the angle. That is so pretty.
She made it look easy, and that shot is just not easy.
3-3-2.
Incredible play.
Point. Four, 3-2.
Oh my, another angle.
Side out.
Throwing Zane Ford out of sorts. No mercy from the St. Louis Shock.
3-4-1.
Nauseous or not, they are going to pick on you as much as anyone else.
Point.
Dominique Schaefer tries to tango with Hayden Patriquin down the way. He slaps it back to the feet of her partner, Zane Ford.
4-4-1.
4-4-1, St. Louis. Nice. Counter right back at you from Dominique Schaefer.
4-4-2.
Lobs up. Patriquin's on it.
To answer the question, the Shock is going to be up there. It's going to be able to keep that level up. These players do great through the year on the PBA Tour. So for them, this is not different.
I'm not sure.
Timeout change in.
See anyone taking out the St. Louis Shock this year. 2 matches in Orlando, 6 matches here in Columbus. A near sweep of every opponent they've played this weekend. Only dropping 1 game across 6 matches. That's insane. And a perfect lob as well, that time from Hayden Patriquin, right on the baseline.
7-4-2. Side out. 4-7-1. Point. Five, 7-1. Point.
Anna Bright muffs it, looks to the crowd in disbelief. Not thrilled. And I still love and admire the intensity that Anna Bright plays with. Never satisfied.
And that's what makes her great. She's never satisfied with the level of play.
Second serve.
Here's the thing, though, in my 15 years of pro sports background, it's not about who has the best team, it's who has the best team at the right time, peaking at the right moment of the season. So credit Anna Bright for not settling into any complacency.
Side out.
But will that hold up in August? That's my question for St. Louis.
7-6-1.
It's back. Shock on top by 2. Great fight, though, from the New York Hustlers, at least making this thing a game.
Point.
Wide for Ford.
Timeout New York, 9-6-1.
You know, covering the right places when the dig is not accurate.
Point.
Like every tennis player at the beginning, everything fast, we're used to that. But it's the soft, the one that needs work.
10-6-1.
Game point, 10-6-1. Nice serve to the corner from Patriquin. Sets up the drive. Ford putting up some defense, doesn't matter.
11-6,
Bright and Patriquin seal it and take it. They polish off a perfect performance. Welcome you back to the action here in Columbus. Who can stop the St. Louis Shock? That is the question. Kate Fahey and Gabe Tardio playing out of their minds right now, unbeaten since coming back together after that little experiment in Orlando. And Kate Fahey and Gabe Tardio join us now to talk about it. Kate, starting with you, what specifically has been improved between you and Gabe in your partnership?
Yeah, I think last year I was really new. We were a new partnership. We were just getting to know each other's games. This year we, have spent a lot of time together. Our team is super close, and we just spend a lot of time together practicing as well. And I think that really helps. We care a lot about each other, all 4 of us off the court, and so we just really want to win for each other. And I think that shows on the court. And Gabe and I have a lot of momentum right now. We're feeling really good, and I just really enjoy playing with him.
And Gabe, what do you enjoy about playing with Kate?
A lot of things. First of all, she's super spicy on the court. She yells to everyone. She doesn't mean it, but she's super fiery. She fights for every point, and I think that's really important to have. And yeah, like Kate said, every time we play, we get better and better. So yeah, looking forward for the next MLP.
I don't mean it.
What do you mean she doesn't mean it? And how do you guys stay motivated, Kate? You're blazing through opponents, quite frankly, at the moment. Perfect 6-0 record. How do you stay motivated and avoid any complacency, especially because the season's 14 weeks? You got a little bit of time ahead of the playoffs, assuming you guys would be a lock for that in August.
Yeah, I think it just shows how hungry you are. All 4 of us, all 6 of us are super competitive. We want to win every single match. Even when we're up like 9-0, 10-0, our motto is like act like we're down 0-9 or 0-10. And it just goes to show again how hungry we are, how much we want it. Every point matters, every match matters, and I think that's evident on the court when we play.
And Gabe, for you, you're such a calm player. You have a lot of poise to your game. You're not outwardly emotional most of the time. So what motivates you to just play at the highest level and continue to reach new heights with your game?
Yeah, I would say for the most part I'm pretty chill, but I have my own goals that keep me pumped, and trying to win every single match. And then I also have Kate, Anna, and Hayden yelling at me, telling me to get fired up and all that. Also Rich, always with some nice words and telling me to refuse to lose and a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think thanks to Rich and Ross and Andrew and all the the team for always supporting me and keeping me pumped and locked in.
Well, the sky is the limit for you. Congratulations on a perfect tournament performance and a perfect start to 2025 for the St. Louis Shock. We're going to step aside for just a moment. When we return, much more to come from Columbus. Sean McMahon and Unit Kessler.